So let's get started. So before I get into the warrior aspect of our postures on warrior, as well as how we can implement those learnings or education as in moral values of life, I want to bring in a question which was asked by one of my students the other day. So other day we were focusing on the topic which is called bhakti or devotion. And obviously, when we are talking about devotion, there is a strong connection between teacher and student, right? We are devoted in certain ways to our teachers. We respect them, we treasure them. And that is one big topic. So that's why I couldn't take it up the other day because uh, it needs a lots of insight. But I'll try to keep it precise because it's only a 30 minutes talk, and after that I'm starting up a yin class as well. So the question was, can you share how a teacher can caution students and themselves from misinterpreting bhakti or devotion? Can you share how a teacher can caution students and themselves from misinterpreting bhakti or devotion? Now, it happens less over here in Hong Kong, but it still does happens. In India, we take or we treat teachers as the highest level, okay, in the same level as our guardians, that means our parents, father and mother. And their words would be the last. And when you were grooming as a kid, like when I was grooming as a kid, we don't really have that much of rationalizing power of what is right, what is not right, this is good, this is not good. We just completely follow whatever the teacher says. This is a final verdict, and that is respect, and that is great. That is great to have that respect. However, one need to know that teachers in modern world, I'm not talking about guru, there is a difference. It's getting a bit cold here, hang on for a second. In modern world, teachers are whoever can educate us on any subject. You might have yoga teachers, you might have dance teacher, you might have any other subject having teacher. Guru is different because the word gu means darkness and ru means to take away or to remove. So one who removes the darkness from your life is the guru. And whenever we are talking about this aspect, we are looking for the spiritual guidance, because only by walking through the path of spirituality one can take off the darkness in their life. There are lots of mayas, impulsiveness, attachments, and to learn how to take a step out from all these aspects, we need a guru. And if we actually find a guru over here right now, I bet you that you would feel eventually get disappointed, because you need to know that teachers are not God. You need to understand that every teachers have got some great caliber, some great presentation, some great qualities to teach, and at the same time they have some backlogs. They have got some qualities within themselves which they are also fighting to overcome. So do not take a teacher as a guru. I have gone through, and in my yoga journey, I have met a few great teachers and have tried seeking that guru's wisdom from them. And because I had heightened my expectation, it came up not very well. I was saddened to see some actions coming in, with all due respect to whatever I have learned from them. And I see the problem is in myself, because I would say it was my expectation which led to the frustration. If we do not expect much, we just embrace whatever comes into us. We are an empty cup. Pour in, we just take in. That is all. So, keeping in mind and making it more precise, understand that teachers' respect should be to the point where they are offering you whatever you are there to learn from them. It is great to respect a teacher in all dimensions, all possibilities, but do not take them as a god. They have got their shortcomings. They all are working towards their shortcomings to get better from where they are. And if you start thinking that I am devoted to this particular teacher, and that devotion might lead you towards some deep corners, look for yourself on how much devotion you still want to pay to that teacher without getting emotionally injured or hurt. Because again, when the truth gets exposed at times, you'll feel like, wow, I did not expect. Some teachers have great routine of day. They might be starting their day early in the morning, going in, all perfect regulations of life, purifications, coming into yoga practice, but they might have some other shortcomings. Some yoga teachers might be, or any teachers I'm talking about, might be great in the emotional context, might be great in building that bondage and keeping that healthy student-teacher relationship, but they might not be able to keep up their own physical practice or their own practice of spirituality. So knowing where to draw the line is extremely important. Every human being in this world has got shortcomings. And to my little knowledge, if someone is a guru, that person have came across that barrier of staying clinged into their life. Their life has gone beyond a certain point when now they're living for the service of the society. And if you're not doing that, don't talk about it. Don't talk you're the guru. So that is why guru's definition is big. So again, to answer the question, the moral value of how you see your teacher and your connection as a student, that bhakti, that devotion, should definitely be there, but until a point where you see that if I am experiencing any spiritual upliftment from that teacher, I want to get my devotion stronger. If I am getting that spiritual upliftment from a teacher, I want to bring that devotion stronger in that teacher. That bhakti should get stronger naturally. But if it's limited just by learning what the teacher is offering, it might be asana practice, it might be yoga in a whole. As long as you're leaping up to that higher state, then it automatically connects you with that right spiritual teacher. It might be dance, it might be piano, it might be any musical instruments, it might be anything. Keep the respect. Respect is extremely important, but do not get confused between respect and bhakti, devotion. So respect your teachers. If you want to devote towards a teacher, check that that teacher has led you or leading you towards some spiritual growth, some awareness to learn about your own inner self. And then that bhakti or that devotion would make a complete sense. So this is my thought. Other teachers might be having their own thoughts, but this is my thought on how I see I have to choose my guru and where I stand in the relationship between myself as a teacher and my students paying respect to me. So that is all for the question. Now, if you have got further questions, you can leave them on my inbox in IG. Do not leave on the commenting box because it gets hidden. So if you have got anything, leave it on my message box and I would get back to you. Okay, so now let's go ahead for the next topic, today's topic, a warrior. Now, before I get into the moral values of a warrior and a warrior posture and what it is like, a short story, because every single postures, most of them, if not all, I think I'm getting a little darkened out here. The sun is going. That's why it's a little dark. As long as you can see me, then it's fine. So every, if not every, but lots of postures, asanas have got some basement It comes from some history. So a warrior 1, warrior 2, warrior 3 also have got some history. This is related to one of the Holy Trinity, Lord Shiva. So Shiva and Sati, Shiva's wife is Sati, one more form of Shakti, Shiva and Shakti. So that Sati is another incarnation of Shakti. And Shakti and Shiva were together and they wanted to get married. And Daksha is the father of Sati. Daksha did not really like Shiva, and the reason being, Shiva was very casual guy. He used to stay in the mortal areas, meditating for years and years up in the Himalayas, putting on ashes. He used to also drink. Yeah, just in case you, in case you are not really aware of it, Shiva used to drink. Okay, so it so happened that Daksha didn't really used to like Shiva at all. Sati wanted to, however, marry Shiva. So when the time came, they got married, and Daksha was extremely unhappy that Sati got married to Shiva because it is out from his own expectation or even from his permission. So eventually, one of the ceremonies, Daksha invited Sati and lots of other revered gods over there, and Shiva was not invited in it. Sati felt extremely bad. Sati said to her father that, why would you do like this? Why would you not respect my choices? And then he said that, I just don't like that person, and you have gone against my wishes to carry forward your own stuff, so you just carry on. I don't have anything else to say. She was so much saddened and aggrieved that there was a strong fire which came from inside of her, and that turned her completely into ashes. So she was burnt. She was completely burnt and gone. Shiva was meditating, and he saw all these things happening. And also the minister, the information minister, who was called Narada, he came and said that these are the things happened. Then obviously Shiva was extremely furious. So he stood up, took a padlock out from the head, and threw it on the floor. And that padlock continued crawling like a snake and went all the way to the place where the ceremony was taking place. From there were two warriors which came up. One was Virabhadra and one was Bhadrakali. So we are not really much aware of this word Bhadrakali, so I'll keep that aside. Virabhadra, and that's where we see the Virabhadrasana 1, 2, 3. So from that coiling padlock came up a warrior. Just like imagine it's a warrior 1, it rose all the way up to stand tall. And then imagine a warrior 2, it draws a sword out and he slashed Daksha's head. So his head was cut off and it fell down on the floor. Then he leaned forward, just like a warrior 3, extending and leaning forward, picked up the head to put it up on a stack. So warrior 1, 2, 3. These are the 3 postures which we know after this great warrior who came in to slay Daksha. Now, this is not where all ends. After this happened, Sati, obviously she has her spirit. Even the body is burned. She saw everything and she could not resist to take another form. And she came back up and she said that, what did you do? Why did you kill my father? You kill my father, does that mean that he is going to accept you? And then Shiva realized that, yeah, that is true. Why did I do that? It is all out of that anger, that frustration, that fury. I did that. Then Sati said, do whatever it might want or happen. I want my father back. So Shiva was in a puzzle. And then he saw that the head was so much distracted that it cannot be placed back. Right, they are gods, okay? So if you have to have presumptions, it might be a little bit difficult that how can somebody's head can come back in. They are gods. If you know the story of Ganesha, that's how he got the head, a trunk of the elephant-headed god. That's how he got it too. So he saw that the nearest possible head which he can get is a head of a goat. So he brought a head of a goat and fixed up the head on Daksha. After that, Daksha felt extremely guilty about his action, and so did Shiva. Now, some moral values, obviously, they stayed together, and that's where this story ends. Some moral values is uh, we should lead happiness with happiness. Example, if we see someone happy, if we see someone happy, if we have got that tint of jealousy inside us, we won't feel happy by seeing that person's happiness. So, looking inward at ourselves, even though Sati was Daksha's daughter, still Daksha wasn't really happy on all what Sati did. Even though Sati was very happy with her, with her, with her decision, but Daksha wasn't. So trying to imply the happiness and seeing others' happiness in your happiness gives or multiplies that joy, makes us to feel more content about the nature around us. Same way, when Sati came and spoke to Daksha that why are you doing this, I would expect that you would just accept my choice. And he was crying, he was sobbing. There was lacking of compassion in Daksha. If Daksha would have seen that sorrow within Sati, he would have tried to accept it. And the third value which I would say is the fury, the anger which we all have, the impulsiveness with which Shiva just without any thought, yeah, mistake happens from everyone. We can go back to the histories and we can see all these mythological gods making mistake too. It's not just gods. Everybody does mistakes on their path to go up towards that highest spiritual consciousness. If you see that, you would also realize that at that moment, if Shiva would not have taken that strong stance, probably things might have been different. And coming that into our moral value context of our lifestyle, sometime when we have argument with anybody else, or when we are at the fist of fury, when we have anger, the mind stops working. It is only the emotion which works. We cease to think consciously. Nothing comes from here. It all comes from instinctive action. Think about this. How many times you might have actually thought you are going in for a conversation, you're unhappy to talk with someone, and you know that, okay, I have to talk to this person. It might be your friend, it might be your boyfriend, girlfriend, your boss, whoever it might be. You might have already thought that, okay, if this person is saying this to me, I'll reply in this way. And there is a constant looping of what I'm supposed to do and what I'm not supposed to do if this thing comes in. And when we are going in there, we see it's exactly a complete different or reciprocated conversation. Often happens, right? 6 out of 10 times it happens. So I think for my own self, I always try asking myself on these questions. And if I am very predictable in certain ways, that means I'm just following my natural emotional fluctuations. So if I have got to take any important decisions, or if I have got to communicate with someone, or if I have got to tie up something with somebody, I really try to look from their point of view and perspective on what they would feel happy with, or what behavior of mine would make them feel different about me, and to feel joyful. Because I'm just thinking from my point of view, not their point of view. So I want to see from their point of view. Although I'm not them, I don't know what emotions they're going through, but I'll try my best to take a step inside and see what I can do. And the last thing I would like to add on is, who is a real warrior? We are talking about warrior. Who is a real warrior? I think the real warrior, you might have your own definition, and yes, why not? We all have got our own intellect. A real warrior is a person who is joyful, who is happy. How to connect? Because if that person is happy, it would mean that he or she have surpassed all the barriers surrounded by the world and gone into that phase that they have nothing to worry about. That joy is within them. I have met a lots of people, those who are spiritually very evolved. They haven't practiced yoga, but they are spiritually evolved. They are the joyful people. It doesn't necessarily mean they're practicing yoga. And by practicing yoga, it doesn't necessarily mean, again, I mentioned this last talk also, that you're doing asanas. You might be spiritually just observing yourself, and that is unity. That is helping you to stay inside. They're aware of their actions, even they probably might have not known much of yoga. When you're happy, that means all these stresses, anger, fear, frustrations of what is there in this world, you have fought against them. It's all in here. It's all in the mind. You have fought these thoughts, and you have came up to that level that now you are evolved. And because you have gone through all these fights, you are the true warrior. Is it not? If you're a true warrior, that means you have fought all these things and you are steady standing. You are standing where you are. And if I'm a warrior, I should be having that state of holding myself when it's required. It's not about taking revenge. It's not about putting frustrations. Because a fight is not with the person in front. It is not from the person in front. The fight is within ourselves. Think about it. The fight, every single fight we are going through, is a fight within ourselves. So we fight with our own self. And if we win that fight, we are the true warrior. That's when a state of bliss and joy comes in. So, yep, be the warrior, be the hero of your life. I would really like to see the evolution of yoga practitioners in this aspect. We are here to lead the society towards a path where everybody gets that sense of joy, sense of completeness, unity, oneness, love, and compassion with each other. And if we all are doing this, life would be so much better. At least the hatred would be less. 10% of people population practices yoga. Imagine 10% can influence it like a geometric progression. It can expand it like anything. So yeah, all fights are within ourselves. Look at you and see the fight which you're having in your inner self. I'm so lazy today. I don't want to practice asanas. Inner fight. Oh, how come this guy said me something? It's not that guy said, how we received that. Inner fight. Oh my God, I have got to complete this project by today. I have been given so much of tasks, so much of so little. It's relative. Inner fight. Everything is inside. So start to heal the inside. So thank you for joining in.